Hey everybody, and welcome back to CCLP1. So, I don't know what is going on here with Tile World, but I've run into another recording problem with this LP, in which for some reason, whenever you try to access the menus up here, or whenever you complete a level and the designer information and title and all that comes up, the program just totally freezes. Like, I don't know why, but I restarted my computer and restarted Tile World, and it seems to work now. So I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that the recording goes smoothly. So let's go ahead and get going. Teleport trouble, level 113. Blocking a teleport with blocks or other stuff could end in an unexpected result. Oops, I don't have the sound on. There we go. So we got chip from that one, and chip from that one. Can we go through here? Nope. Nothing there. Alright, so obviously we had a partial post here. And we got two chips here, so let's push 2 blocks in. And 2 blocks that go left. Whoops, did I just... I totally did. It slid over. Alright, so now 3. And so the tricky thing here is you gotta make sure you just put 2 in there. You don't need all 3 to fit. Although, interestingly enough, I take that back. This actually isn't tricky, because you can theoretically put all the blocks in, and you wouldn't really waste anything. So I have to say this is actually one of my least favorite levels in the set. I like the idea of a partial posting tutorial that's shorter than the original games, but this one just feels like there's way too much hidden stuff here to really make this effective. Alright, it didn't freeze. That is good news. Comfort Zone. Alright, so this is a level I made. It was sort of based on a level that David Pinkston made, I believe. I forget what the name of it was, but it was basically a level in which you had to go around and... Was it David Pinkston or David Knight? I think it was David Pinkston. You had this outer area that was all safe, and then you had this inner area with a bunch of monsters and recessed walls, and you really had to stay with the recessed walls, or else you were walking into really extreme danger, like more extreme than what this level has. This level is pretty consistent, like there's, except for the blobs and walkers. Well, okay, I guess blobs and walkers are the only random monsters, so... most of the time, though, a lot of these are pretty consistent, though, so you can establish some predictability here with this level. And this looks like all there is, so that's it. Alright. Chip slowed and frowned as he rounded a corner. Here was something new. And huge doorway. And huge doorway? I feel like that's supposed to be a huge doorway. Well, wait a minute. And can sometimes precede historic, right? So maybe there is precedent for doing it with like a U as this. I don't know. Anyway, let's not think too hard about that. I'm sorry. I just saw that like for the first time. I never noticed that before. Chip slowed and frowned as he rounded a corner. Here is something new. And huge doorway filled with an enormous reinforced steel door. The thing had to weigh tons, and Chip couldn't even begin to count the number of complex locks and bolts that secured it in place. This must be either Fort Knox or Maximus's command center, he figured. Next step, getting inside. That was obviously easier said than done. But as he examined the behemoth of a barrier, he suddenly noticed the card reader fixed to the wall beside it. He knew just what to do. "Melinda, you're awesome," he declared as he took out her key card and slid it through the slot. With a beep, the card reader's light switched from red to green. The bolts in the door all flew back with a crash, and the door itself grated ponderously open. He was in! Next moment, he dodged as a couple of tanks rolled by. Fortunately, like most tanks, they could only see in front of themselves, and so failed to notice him. But they weren't the only creatures present. The vast room was alive with Maximus's minions. They scurried busily to and fro in an organized fashion, apparently carrying out various command operations. It looked like he had found the right place. But what sort of place was it? The odd shape of the room seemed familiar, and there were colorful markings all over the floor. With a start, Chip realized he was looking at a map. The entire room was a giant map of the state of California. Now that he knew what to look for, he could easily pick out the markings that represented Ship Grove City over near Silicon Valley and the Bitbusters Clubhouse and the entrance to this facility. But what was the purpose of this map? Did it perhaps mark some significant location? The ultimate target of Maximus's plans? He needed to explore it and find out. California. Okay, so there are those 2 tanks that we heard about. I guess they just blow up. So this level is very open and non-linear, and as such, with all the stuff in it, it is one of the most difficult levels, I'd say, to optimize in this set. Thankfully, you don't get punished, for the most part, for doing things before... Whoops. I talked about not getting punished as I got punished. Thankfully, at least most of the time, you don't get punished if you do something before another thing. Which is nice. Let's not do that. There we go. Okay, let's free you. And then you can die there. Thankfully, they die in fire in MS, which is nice. And we got some blocks here. The other nice thing is that you don't have to use everything in the level. You can just roam around here and get what you need. And that we can't push, of course. Thankfully, there's no floor tile under that. Looks like we're getting keys and chips here. Alright, let's grab that. So normally you could bridge from the other side to get to that chip, but in MS you could actually boost backwards here on the force floors, which is quite a trick. I'm not going to do it though, just because I want to do this the intended way. And also it's a little risky from a timing perspective, so... Let's just go back out. This is supposed to represent the state of Nevada, by the way. Alright, so now we're out here. We got a bunch of blocks. Maybe you do need all the blocks, come to think of it. Let's find out. Okay, so... Wait, what did I do? Oh! Whoops! I just walked right into water. Okay, JB, you gotta get a grip here. I gotta admit, it's been kind of a long week this week. I think I mentioned that in my last video, but today just felt... I don't know. Today just felt weird to me. There I go again. I had one of those spells where I don't know. I started really missing my ex a lot. And granted, you know, our relationship wasn't perfect or anything, but it ended well, and when something ends well, I know it sounds silly, but there's a part of me that hopes that it will actually resurface in some way. And in this case, when it happened, I was like, okay, you know, this is happening. And I don't know, I guess I was just like resigned to the idea that, okay, this isn't working out, this was my first relationship, so, you know, it makes sense. You know, I'm not mad or anything. But as time went on, you know, I began to just be like, wow, you know, did I let this go too easily? Because that was like the one regret that I feel like I had from the whole thing, was that I feel like I really let the whole thing go so easily. And today, I was driving past like some of the areas that we frequented. You know, I mean, we were only together for like 2 months, but I don't know. It was just, I hadn't really been through those parts of town that we had visited when we were together, and it really made things even harder. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. And for the first time, I know this is a bad idea. You know, I know that this is not the sort of thing you should be doing after you break up with somebody. In fact, you should probably do the opposite of this thing. But I decided to look at my text message history with her, just because we shared some really nice text messages, and that just made it even harder. So I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, I mean, most of the time I feel like I've moved on, but today was just a tough day. So I'm trying to get back into the dating world, though. It's been kind of challenging, though, because when you're with someone for a while, you start to look for them in other people's faces, and that's not entirely fair to those other people, which is part of the problem. Okay, I'm beginning to think that we don't actually need all these blocks. Like, there's tons of blocks left, and I know we don't need that many to get over here. So yeah, it's it is what it is, you know. And I mean, I recognize the fact that we've broken up and moved on, and that's cool, you know. I think that's ultimately for the best, personally. I guess I just miss the feeling of being in a relationship, you know, just enjoying that companionship. I miss that part of it a lot. Oh my goodness, why did I step there? So, yeah, a little bit of personal talk here, but who knows? I've been out on a couple of dates. I mean, they didn't lead anywhere, but it was nice to get my feet wet again. And my goodness, I really need to stop dying to Paramecia. This is just ridiculous. I'm really curious to know what chip I missed, though. What did I not pick up? Okay. Oh, come on! Why? I'm really having an off day today. I gotta admit, I'm really having an off day. I'm sorry, guys. It's been rough today. Okay, those are going around in circles that are pretty contained, so that's nice. Is there something under here? I don't want to disturb you guys, so... No, okay, there's not. I was wondering if that was where the missing chip was. Is it in here? If it's in here, that's... I really don't like levels with stuff under blocks, but... If it's a bunch of stuff like this, I don't mind so much. But if it's like something random, like I think I talked about this last time. If it's something completely random, it's kind of like, really, I feel like this level wasn't going in that direction, then all of a sudden we're going in that direction, you know. Okay, nothing there, nothing there. Huh, okay, so I think we got everything. Okay. So now we start bridging around. I feel like there's more going on here, though. So we definitely have to fill in one there. I think we got this. We got everything here, didn't we? Like, I think you have to use 4 blocks. I don't see any other way around that. You have to use at least 4. Whoops. Might be a good idea to clear that. Okay, so one last one. And this will get us down to 3 chips. And I feel like that's where we were last time when we went up here. So we got that chip, and then we got like this... We got this one here, right? And then we pushed this. Oh wait, we only have 1 left. Okay, I guess I somehow collected that chip that I missed. I don't know exactly where it was. But we made it to the exit. So that is California by Josh Lee. So originally there was a hint in this level that actually indicated where Josh lived, but we removed that. He had found it. Chip now knew both Maximus's master plan and the evil AI's connection to the saboteur among the Bitbusters. They were after the mystical chip of epic coolness. He had found it clearly marked on the giant map, the location of the secret vault, how to reach it, how to get inside, everything. Whoever was behind this, they knew what they were doing. They had all the answers. They had an agent among the Bitbusters, they had Maximus's army and technology, and soon they would have the Mist Chip. Not if I can help it, Chip promised. He had to get this information to Melinda as quickly as possible. First, however, he needed to find a way back to the surface. Communism. Each tank button can only be pressed once. Alright. So we can blow that up. Okay, so it looks like we're having to manipulate monsters in this level, so let's work on that. We haven't even looked at what's over on the other side. Evidently a dead end. Or is it? Looks like there's a trap over there or something like it. Okay, so let's try to guide this guy over. So that's going to blow up that. Looks like we need one more to go down to where that the tank button is. So, how are we going to do this? Let me see here. I'm used to optimizing this level. I forgot how to solve it casually. Okay, so I did this, right? So that's good. The problem, though, is that if I press the tank button... Oh, wait a minute. Well, I don't know. I don't see that we have much of a choice here. So let's go ahead and press the tank button and see what we get out of that. Okay, so now I... Oh, wait, I can just send another glider down. I think that's how you do it. Okay, that's right. Duh. Okay. So that can open up this, and we need a yellow key to go any further. So we need to open up this. And so now... Okay, so now we can just send another glider down the whole thing. Okay, of course. Alright, so we go here. We get you down. Like that. Oh, we need more than one. Okay, so we need to send another one down, and it's going to hit another tank button, and then a blue button. Or a red button, my bad. The tank button is a blue button. Go there. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's just going to make sure nothing else can go in there. So now we can go in here. And this allows us to blow that up and then go up here. Okay, so here's that trap that the glider went into earlier. So this goes through there, and then here's something that apparently presses a clone button, which holds that, which is probably yeah, that's probably connected to that, and that probably holds that trap down. Okay, I think I see how to do this. So we're gonna need. Okay, so that blocks that off. So now we can move gliders in here. Okay, so now I can close that. So yeah, optimizing this level is actually pretty tricky because you have to clone bunches of gliders, and it's pretty crazy. Okay, so here, let's clone 2 more so that one can go hit that button. Of course, we're going to have to press the tank button, or press the brown button and hold it down. Whoop, that may not have been smart. We got it, though. Okay, so now we press this. There actually is a way, I think, to bypass this in the optimized route. But we're doing this the slow way. Alright, so now we got 1 chip left. I'm guessing I'm going to have to clone another one, so let's just go ahead and bring one over. Whoops, that's the block cloner. That's the glider cloner. Okay, before I do that, let's see what we're getting ourselves into here. Oh, I'm going to have to clone another one. Oh, there's a couple of bombs over there, so one of them's blown up, and okay, I get it. That's right, because gliders don't die in fire in Lynx, so... Let's clone one more, and we should be good. Okay, there we go. So now this is here. Okay, so it looks like we gotta, whoops, get it through some toggle walls. And then we go through here. Alright, new area now. There's another clone button. Let's go and press it. Okay. Alright, there we go. Now we can just go to the exit. So in Lynx, it's worth noting that you can actually use send 2 gliders in here and have one blow up the bomb while the other toggles the tanks. And in Lynx, you can actually slip through the tanks with that timing, which is pretty awesome. So that's a pretty neat bust in Lynx. This was by Trevor Hedges, which is cool. So good job, Trevor. Finally, daylight. Chip scrambled eagerly out of the elevator, somewhat surprised to find its exterior disguised as a simple metal shed in the middle of a huge wheat field. The scene rang a bell in his memory, but there wasn't time to think about it. The buildings of Chip Grove City were faint in the distance, and he had to get to the clubhouse post-haste, or the clue house. A short while later, having managed to hitch a ride into town, Chip ran through the Bitbusters lobby and burst into Melinda's office. "Melinda, I'm back," he shouted, "and I found out what—" He stopped short as he realized that the person sitting behind the desk was not Melinda. "Good day, Mr. McCallahan," Jude said pleasantly, allowing a sardonic smile to slide across his face. "May I be of assistance to you?" He was lounging back in Melinda's chair as though he owned it. Tall, powerfully built, all smoothness from his expensive-looking suit to his slick dark hair to his smugly complacent expression. Where's Melinda?" Chip asked uneasily. He liked Jude even less now that he saw him in person. "She left for San Francisco on important business," Jude replied. His tone said, "Much too important to concern the likes of you." San Francisco? According to the map in Maximus's command center, that was the city nearest the location of the Mistship Vault. "I have to get there fast," he declared. "I have an urgent report I need to give her." "Yes, I seem to recall she left some instructions concerning you," Jude said lazily. He dipped into a drawer of the desk and came up with a piece of paper, which he dropped condescendingly on the desk near Chip. "She bought you this ticket. Your flight leaves in—" He made a show of checking his large, fine watch. "10 minutes. You had better run along if you want to make it." He smirked with self-satisfaction as Chip, too disgusted to answer, grabbed the ticket and stalked out. The taxi ride to Chip Grove Municipal Airport took 7 minutes, but fortunately for Chip, the upcoming ChipperCon in Los Chipolis had made the lines for San Francisco unusually short. He staggered onto the plane and collapsed breathlessly into a seat with seconds to spare. "Whew," he thought, "I can finally sit down and relax for a while." Despite his worries about Melinda and the Mistship, it had been a long day, and he was very tired. Gradually, he dozed off, only to be awakened some time later by the sound of hysterical screams. Jerking up from his seat and staring wildly around, he immediately saw the source. Gelatinous green masses that oozed slowly but relentlessly down the aisles and over the seats, strangling passengers. Someone had let a bunch of blobs loose on the plane. Oh, not them again, he thought. He realized it was up to him to stop them, but to make matters more difficult, they were still multiplying from somewhere on board. Blobs on a plane. Alright, so this level, I'm going to say right now, I had a ridiculous time optimizing this. In fact, I don't think I've played this level since I finished optimizing it in MS, which was way back in... Okay, I shouldn't really be optimizing this. I should play this safe. That was on New Year's Day 2005. Wow, that was a while back. Alright, so we got through that. I shouldn't have grabbed that. Okay, let's... Oh, there's stuff down here. I should have gotten that earlier. Okay, so that allows us to get that ship. Whoa. Let's go in here. So I think you can afford to lose one move, maybe two in MS, I forget, if you're doing the optimized route. It's pretty brutal, like, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so that's all the chips, which means we can go in here and let the blobs loose. Yay! I think I have to go back to the start area. Alright, here we go. Green key, which opens up suction boots down at the bottom, right? Don't like that. There we go. So did Maximus lay these blobs on the plane? That is the question of the hour. Okay. Got to get in there. Alright, and that was by Tom P. Chip and a few other brave passengers finally managed to herd the last of the blobs out through the plane's emergency doors. But while they were checking for any stragglers, they discovered that the nasty creatures had forced open the door to the cockpit and suffocated both pilots. "Does anyone know how to fly this thing?" Chip shouted desperately. "Maybe," one of his helpers responded uncertainly. "I had a few months training on a smaller model, but I don't think I could get us as far as San Francisco. We'll have to go back to Chip Grove City. But I've got to get to San Francisco as soon as possible, Chip groaned in frustration. The fate of the world depends on it. I've got to see Melinda. Melinda. Her name sparked something in his mind. Then suddenly he remembered. The parachute. Jealous girlfriend? The man inquired sympathetically. I know how those can be. I'm really sorry I can't help you. He tried to pull on the cords to steer like he had seen people do in movies, but couldn't quite figure out how to make it work. Then the wind caught him and swept him along, throwing him toward a long, narrow, cleared area among the trees. As he got closer, he realized why it was so long and narrow. He was descending onto a railroad track, and there was a train speeding along just below him. Before he had fully taken it in, the wind released him, and he crashed right through a skylight in the roof of the last car. Oh yeah, he cheered as soon as he had recovered his breath. Man, why can't Melinda be around for moments like these? He stood up and investigated his surroundings. What kind of train was this? It didn't look like a freighter, but neither did it seem to have a passenger area. He peered through the window into the next compartment. It did contain passengers, but not the paying kind. Chip had a horrible sinking feeling as he recognized the creatures running around inside. Those are Maximus's minions, he exclaimed. Maximus must be using this train to transport them to San Francisco. They've set out to steal the mist ship. He had to stop them. Looking around, he noticed an access panel on the wall nearby with a sign reading, Caution! Critical Electronics System. That looks promising, Chip thought. He pulled the panel open, revealing a series of computer chips connected together. Gotcha, he thought gleefully as he quickly collected the chips. Suddenly, sparks flew, red lights flashed, and an alarm began ringing. The train shuddered, then began accelerating. Chip realized that he had made a mistake. The train was running out of control! Runaway Train. So a few things about the references in the last few levels. Let's actually time this correctly. So this shed out in the middle of a wheat field was a reference to the end of Portal 2, which I think was my idea, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember if there's another one I'm thinking of. I'm sure I'm forgetting to mention one of these. But anyway, this level. So this level is interesting, and I don't know why I went that direction. This level is really interesting because it's actually the highest rated level in voting. And interestingly enough, it almost didn't make it into voting. I think originally it was a little harder and a lot more confined as far as dodging went. But the designer cleaned it up a little bit and made it slightly more forgiving, which was really nice. So it's a really fun level to play. I mean, normally I'm not the biggest fan of simple item swappers like this, but this one's cool because the way this is arranged is meant to give you the illusion of traveling along a long train like this, whereas you're actually going through several different areas of the level, and there's parts of it that are duplicated to create this illusion. I'm not sure what I was doing there. Okay, so I need to go back here to get the green key. Alright, I'm going to try recording more tomorrow when I'm feeling a little better. And that was not smart. Today is just not my day. It's pretty clear right now. Blobs on the Plane, by the way, was the highest rated blob level, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know, really... I know Corral, I think, was the lowest one, but it was certainly among the easiest, so we made sure to include it. Why did I think I had a red key there? Oh, we forgot to get the second red key. My bad. So that's why I thought I had one. Okay, I'm going to try to be a little more careful here. Alright, go through the Paramecia rooms. So I've been considering the possibility of making a train level actually kind of like this. A long time ago, I wanted to make a level that was called the Polar Express. And it was basically going to be a rip-off of this level, but with ice on the outside instead of the force floors. I decided not to do it because this level, particularly after it was cleaned up, was so good that I didn't really want to make a lesser version of it. So I'm thinking of potentially making a level that has a train theme in CC2, but with sort of a different approach. Like, I'm thinking of making a level where you go outside the train and you have to, like, climb into, like, a different level of the train, like, on top and stuff. I recently played that board game called Colt Express, where you have to do that, and I forgot to switch the toggles. Where you're basically robbing the train, and you have to, like, go on different levels of the train, and you have to send your people through doors and into different cars and stuff. Really cool. And I thought, you know, you could do this with CC. Like, instead of doing this where everything's like a top-down view of the train, have it be kind of like a side view of the train. You know, kind of do something a little... It's similar, but not like totally the same. There we go. Alright, so now we go back. So I don't know what I'm going to call that yet. Maybe I could still go with the Polar Express theme. But, I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. Alright, and we should be good to exit, and I'm going to end the video here. That was by Tom P. Well done on an amazing level, Tom. And next time, we will read this. So until then, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the flip side.